So we're here with Shayla with Clean Miami Beach. Shayla, thanks so much for being here. I love kind of the story that of how Clean Miami Beach kind of came about, but would love to hear from your words, kind of how it started and what you guys do today.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, our founder is from Germany. So she came down here to Florida and she just noticed how different things were down here, all the plastic that we consume. And she lives on the beach. So she noticed a lot of trash on the beach as she was walking her dog in the mornings. And it was just overwhelming and it bothered her like a lot. So she just decided to just start picking it up. And then she did that a couple of times and then she ran into somebody that was also picking up trash. So they connected immediately and they were like, oh my God, you pick up trash. They became friends. And then they were like, oh, let's do this every day after work or every Tuesday after work. So after work, they would do a cleanup. They did a cleanup and then they posted a picture about it on social media and they tagged other like Miami, like businesses or things, like the government or just local businesses in Miami. And then other people saw the post and they were like, oh, I want to join. So then the next time they went out, it was 4 of them. And then the next time they went out, it was 6 of them. And then the next time it was 8. And every time they're just more people kept on coming and coming and coming until one day there was 130 people on a Saturday cleanup. And that's when
Wow.
she was like, wow, like this is big. Like I have to do something, I have to take this to the next level. And that's when she decided to start it as a nonprofit.
And you guys have a pretty big social media following, is that correct?
I think we have like about 35K right now.
Wow. And when you do what days of the week do you normally do a cleanup? Is it one day a week or multiple days a week?
Well, our public cleanups are usually like twice a month. And then we do corporate cleanups, and those are during the weekdays. Sometimes we have like 3 or 4, it depends. But the public ones are always twice a month.
Nice. And then when you do a post of your public cleanups, how many people now show up? Before it started with just 2 and then 4, then 6. How many today show up when you guys do a post like that for your twice a month cleanups?
Normally we get anything from like 50 to 100 volunteers, sometimes even more than 100, but we usually like to leave it at 100 because then it becomes like too overwhelming and they wouldn't have like enough supplies or something. So about 100, maybe like 120 we've had before. So.
Wow, that's amazing. And so you started out as a volunteer, probably on the social media list. How did you first come to find out about them? Did you run across them on the beach? Did you follow them on or find them through a social media post? How did you come into the organization?
I'm not sure how it was, but I know that it was because my daughter was in need of community service hours. She was in high school at the time. And so I think it was through social media. I was like volunteer, or maybe I went to volunteer.org and I saw the volunteer program for Cayman Beach. So I started going there with my daughter. I did like a couple, well, she needed like, I think it was 20 hours or something like that. So I went with her all the time. And then I just continued going after she was done with the community service hours. And I just loved, going to the beach and Sophie and all her crew and everybody's just so amazing. And it was a good time for me. It was like therapy, and it's kind of fun, like finding trash because it's like treasure. And then you're like, oh my God, it's weird. But yeah, so then I just started doing it a lot and going a lot. And then I joined the crew. And then from the crew, there was a position that opened and then I applied for it and then I got the ambassador.
Nice.
Spot.
So what would be kind of your day-to-day responsibilities as an ambassador for a nonprofit?
So my job is just to connect. I mostly do a lot of networking. I go to a lot of these events and I connect with other people, try to find other sponsors. I also look for persons that want to donate, to the corporation. So I do a lot of networking events. So that's what I do pretty much. And I'm pretty much on all of the cleanups and I also lead cleanups as well. When Sophie's not there, I will lead the cleanup. So that's pretty much what I do.
Very nice. And so you mentioned earlier that it's kind of like finding treasure on the beach. What is some of the craziest things that you found while doing cleanups?
Okay, well, the craziest thing that we ever found, in my opinion, is a pint of blood.
Oh.
We found a pint of blood in like a bush. It was like so weird, and I don't know to this day what it was doing there. But that has to be the weirdest thing. And then we also find like urns, empty urns that people like throw the ashes in the water and then they leave the urn there. So that's kind of
Oh,
weird.
it's amazing how people like have no regard. Like even like an urn, I can see. Okay, you dump your family members' ashes in the ocean, but you would think that you would not just leave the urn as garbage on the side of the beach, right?
Right.
So it's a little bit unfortunate, but thank goodness that somebody's there to at least help clean
Find
it
on the beach. Everything we find is unfortunate because what is it doing there to begin with? It's not supposed to be there. So, that's the first thing. But sometimes we do find things like we find treasures too. Like this one time we found a pair of Gucci glasses, like super brand new,
up. Oh
and we
wow.
auctioned them off. So that was a win-win. And we also sometimes we find pairs of shoes like with the pair, like brand new. And so
Yeah.
sometimes we'll like keep them if they like fit one of our members and they're like, we'll keep them, stuff like that. But this is the coolest things I think. The glasses and some shoes. Like nice Nike Air ones, Air Force ones.
Oh wow. And so you don't just clean Miami Beach. So like how far inland do you go and what other areas do you guys kind of hit when you're outside of just Miami Beach?
So we go like to Key Biscayne, and we also do Wynwood area. Brickell we've done before. So like kind of we stay within land, but like not so far from the beach, but kind of still close. I don't think we've gone further than like North Miami Beach.
Okay. And as far as like, I love the fact of this Miami Beach cleanup is twofold. One, you got the volunteers that just want to help out. You can also do community service hours, and then you also have businesses that do like employee team building. They do employee projects, like employers that I'm sure have like volunteer hours for their employees and programs. How can they get in contact with you, and how many employee groups or companies you partner with that kind of send their employees to you to kind of help do cleanups?
Oh, well, we have a lot of corporations that come and want to volunteer, and we call it a corporate outing with an impact. And so they
I like
come
that.
out and, we're connected with nature. We get to be outside of the office. It's fun. They're like scientists. We collect data and then we talk to them about what they could do in their lives to, make a difference. And so we have a lot of corporations that it's all through donation. So it's a donation and they come and we provide everything and it's a whole lot of fun. And we do have a lot of corporate event cleanups.
Nice. What type of fundraising do you guys normally do throughout the year that can kind of contribute to the organization?
Fundraising. Well, we just finished with the Give Miami-Dade. It's a big giving day for donations for all nonprofit organizations. So we always we participate in fundraisers. We participate in Give Miami-Dade. We just a lot of people actually just come to us and reach out, for our services. It's been like that a lot. Like a lot of people just like, oh, how can we help? How can we do it? So that's really cool that they actually come to us and we're not really looking, so that's kind of amazing. It's pretty easy when people are coming to us. We've worked with a lot of big brand names like Meta, Spotify,
Wow.
what else? Hold on, I have a list. Let's see. Sky Vodka, Amazon, that's a big one. The Eden Rock, Delta Airlines is one of our big ones too. Cisco, JP Morgan. So a lot of these companies have worked with us and continue to work with us.
Yeah, that's amazing. So as far as the team building, the personal kind of volunteers, you mentioned earlier that like this part of the cleanup crew and the cleanup experience is kind of like a meditative experience for some people. Talk a little bit about that and how people are kind of getting that sense of like Zen while they're also doing good by helping clean up the beach.
Well, I guess that has to do with the fact that we're like near the ocean and on the beach. It's just being around that type of atmosphere is already at one relaxing. And then so as you're walking by, picking up trash, it's just you're one with the trash or something. You're just so focused. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think you have to volunteer to and actually experience it to understand what I'm trying to say. Because you might be like, what do you mean meditative? That you're weird. It's not weird. Like, it's for real. It's real. You just have to come out, and everybody's welcome to join any of our cleanups. We have them all the time, and we're all posted on our Instagram social media page, which is Clean Miami Beach. The link is in our bio, so you just have to look at our cleanups. You have to register for them, and just come out and check it out, and you'll get to understand what I'm saying.
Nice. And is there ever a cap or a limit? I know you said there is kind of a limit for the number of people, like on a specific day. What do you normally cap that at? And would you encourage people to kind of sign up early?
Yes, absolutely. So we usually cap it at 100 people, and there is a registration. Everybody does have to register prior to the cleanup online, and then that way, once we have enough like volunteers, we'll stop the registration, and then you can no longer join that cleanup.
Nice. And you also have a program for kids. Tell us a little bit about kind of, the programs that you have for kids and kind of the impact that you've seen that have, on the youth of today.
Yeah, so we have a couple of programs. We have the Classroom on the Sand, which is like basically it's a field trip for all schools. We're trying to reach all the schools. It's a field trip where we come out, we bring the kids, we put the buckets on the floor, we flip the buckets over, make them like seats, so it's an actual classroom, and then we set up our tent and we talk to them about the harmful effects of single-use plastic. Then we have a little cleanup. We pick up a bunch of things, then we talk about what we picked up, and then at the end we talk about what changes we can make in order to stop using certain items and things that we can do in our personal lives to help for a better future to save the planet, to create less waste. We also have a program called Microplastic Art Workshop. That is where we, on our cleanups, the ones that we have the Classroom on the Sand, and basically every cleanup we will collect microplastics and different things, like utensils, straws, just plastic. We collect them and we clean them, right? And then with that plastic, we create art. We have a canvas. Usually it's like a canvas outlined with like a design, and then we will fill it in. And we create art. We've made so many. Wow. I wish I had like a picture right now. We've made so many beautiful art pieces with that. So that's really good. So we bring the kids in, and the kids have like one-on-one time with the plastic, and they get creative with it, and that's also meditative. Art is also calming. We go to mostly like middle schools, high school, and we have a presentation where we talk to the kids about the harmful impact that single-use plastic has, how it started, where it's at right now, what they can do. Then we have a game at the end where they have to answer questions and they can win things. So the kids, it's very important to reach out to the kids because the kids, is the future. It's kind of hard to get your grandma and your grandpa to stop using those grocery bags from the store. Yeah. I mean, especially, and over here in Miami, I don't know. And in some states don't allow the use of plastic bags anymore. Sometimes you have to pay for them. Over here, it's you could ask for 100 plastic bags and they'll give them to you. So it's kind of hard to change the mindset of an adult. But the kids, on the other hand, they're more fresh. They listen more. Even though you don't think they listen, they do listen. They understand. And then they see that, it's hurting the animals, and they care for the animals, and they care for the ocean. So it's really important that we keep speaking to the kids.
Yeah. And let's hope that the kids don't leave their urn of their grandparents on the beach after they're done dumping their ashes into the ocean. So you guys started in 2000. What year did you guys start? 2019. And so you've done about how many cleanups since 2019?
We've hosted over 300 cleanups.
300 cleanups. And do you know about how many pounds of garbage you've cleaned up since then?
Right now, we're at about 93,000 pounds.
Wow. And so with 93,000 pounds being taken off the beach, that's an enormous amount. I can't imagine. I've never seen 93,000 pounds of garbage, but I can just envision how big of a mound that is. how do you, like, after you guys are done kind of doing your cleanups for the day, how does it, is it just like, how many bags of garbage can we relate, like just a one hour long or 2 hour long cleanup to be?
Um, I mean, it depends on the area that we're at. If we go to the Tuttle, which is where we pick up the most trash, we could have anything from like 50 bags or more.
Mm,
But I'm talking about like those big, like coffee bags, not like, they're big bags.
yeah.
Anything from like 50 plus bags. And if
Wow.
for a small cleanup, we'll have like 3 or 4 maybe.
Mm. That's just a lot of garbage that kind of comes off the beach, and it's just amazing how a lot of it is just left on the beach, and then other is just kind of probably blown onto the beach, but it was probably left in the street, and somehow just makes its way there. And I don't think people really understand the impact that they have on kind of the environment when they're just kind of throwing something out or throwing something out the window, of where it all ends up going. And it's just, I think everybody probably needs to, volunteer with you at least once in their life, just to kind of get the perspective of, hey, this is a bigger problem than we ever realized, and maybe I'm going to think twice before leaving something behind or not picking up trash. Even when I can just imagine all the people that are walking the beach every day that are just walking by the garbage and don't even pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like they're not aware. But once you do become aware, you do tend to see it more. So I just think that's, where it all starts in becoming aware of it and seeing that there actually is a problem, because all trash, no matter where, if you throw something, like let's say I throw something right now outside of my house in the yard. Okay, I'm not close to like the beach or anything, but eventually, it rains, the wind, it blows to the drain, the pipes, the drains and everything, and all the rivers, all the canals, all the ocean, everything's connected together. So it's gonna find its way there, and that's the problem that people don't understand. Like, we're all connected some way, even if you're all the way in like Pakistan or anywhere, the ocean is connected. We're all connected in that way. So,
Mm.
and in that sense, on that note, I mean, we find all the time these little tiny yellow plastic bottles. Um, we don't know where they're coming from. We would find them, and we still find them like almost all the time in our cleanups. And we were like, where are these bottles coming from? Because they're not made in the United States. So we
Ooh.
did a little bit of research, and we found that the bottles were actually coming from the Dominican Republic and Haiti, which share an island. And all that island is about like 700 miles from here. And obviously, it's not going to travel straight to get here. So it probably traveled about 1,000 miles just to get here to Miami beaches. So that shows you how far it can travel.
Yeah. Well, and it just shows you that the impact, or how much of that there probably is in the ocean. If every time you go to do a cleanup, you're finding one or two of them, that just means there's thousands of bottles still out there in the ocean that are yet to kind of show up on shore. Plus, I can imagine the Gulf Stream taking a lot of it up north. And what about other islands that maybe it's washing up on, that's bypassing the United States? It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's sad because, I don't know if you're aware that we get our second breath from the ocean. So the ocean is a very important part of the ecosystem. And without the ocean, we literally die. So it's not just the trees, it's the ocean. It's very important. The corals, everything in the ocean gives us oxygen. So we need the ocean. We need to protect the ocean at all costs.
Mm. What we kind of talked about some crazy things that we found. What are some of the saddest things that you found kind of during some of the cleanups?
Well, the saddest things to me would have to be when we find those needles that the drug addicts inject themselves.
Mm,
There's a lot of homeless activity in the beach, and so we find a lot of like needles and like drug bags, and that's sad to see those things.
yeah. Now, if somebody's not in Miami, what kind of advice would you give them if they're just on the coast, either the east or west coast now of the United States? What would be your advice to them to just kind of be aware of what's going on and just kind of do their little part to kind of maybe, create a little bit cleaner environment?
Well, I always say, wherever you go, leave it better than how you found it. even if it's not your trash, if you go to the beach and, the area that you're in, like before you leave, pick it up, get a little, if you don't have a bag, I mean, you'll find something, pick up what you can, even if it's just whatever you can in your hands. That's better than nothing. And then that also will create a chain effect because somebody else will see you picking up, and that might create something in them. That's kind of like what happened to me before I started Miami Beach. I saw a lady in the beach. I love the beach, so I'm always at the beach, and I saw a lady just picking up trash, and I was like, wow, I thought it was very impressive that she was doing that, and
Yeah.
I was inspired by that. And then the next time I came to the beach, I picked up trash, so she inspired me. So you never know who you're going to inspire.
Yeah, I think, and you know what? It just takes someone just noticing it. And I think a lot of it comes to like reference points. Like you said earlier, a lot of people probably walk that beach 100 times and they don't notice any trash until maybe they see someone picking up something or they're involved in the cleanup crew. When they're actually there and aware of it is when they start to see it again. So I think kind of the big thing is, and hopefully with this, with our call today, people start to realize like, hey, maybe next time I'm walking the beach, I should just be a little bit more aware of my surroundings. And if I do see something, pick it up. I mean, I'm sure, I've seen on the beach, stations for doggy bags for picking up dog poop. Take one of those bags and pick up the garbage and you fill it in one of those bags and then throw it out. There's a lot of things you could probably do, or bring a bag with you just for garbage as you're doing your 1 or 2 mile walk on the beach every day. That would basically have a big impact on kind of how clean everything can be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what else, if anything, would you like to kind of let everybody know about kind of before we wrap up for the day?
Well, there's little things that everybody can do in their daily lives to help, put that. Okay. So everybody can do their own little part in their own life to create change, right? So the little tiny things that we can do to produce less waste is reusable bags. When you go to the store, bring your reusable bag. Bring it. If you didn't bring it, buy a new one. If you can't buy a new one, just put everything in your cart. In your car, just single items. If it's only like 1 or 2 items, carry it in your hands. You don't need a bag for 1 or 2 items. Like when you go to the supermarket, I mean, when you go to the restaurants, instead of, getting those plastic straws that are horrible, there's like millions and millions of straws being used on a daily basis. You use it one time, you throw it away. That creates so much waste. You could have reusable straws, silicone straws, aluminum straws. Have your own straw, your own utensils in your bag. Use those. Try to, instead of, if it's not reusable, if it's plastic and it's not reusable, don't use it. Don't say no to it. Those little things like that, it's not that hard. It's really, really, really not. You just have to be aware of it, and once you are, you can create the change. Like your reusable cups when you go to anywhere, like Starbucks, bring your reusable cup. They even give you a discount. It's not a big discount, but it is a discount, right? And you can do that anywhere you go. Dunkin' Donuts, anywhere you go, bring your reusable cups, bring your reusable water bottles, reuse them, reuse things. Instead of throwing something away, donate it or give it away. Find another purpose for it. Like, do you really have to throw everything away? Like, before you throw something out and create more, or before you buy something and, create more junk, like, think about before you buy, do I really need this? Do I really need to throw this away? What can I do different? Something like that, to just stop consuming, because we consume and consume and consume and consume. We don't see how much we consume on a daily basis,
Yeah.
unnecessary things. And then we just create so much waste. The waste isn't going to just disappear. It's like there's a hill full of trash somewhere around here, like close to it. It's disgusting. And burning the trash isn't very helpful because that's also bad for the environment. So we need to just consume less, way less.
Yeah. Well, I think just kind of bringing awareness to this is kind of the first step. And I think once people listen to this, just kind of putting in perspective how much garbage each of us kind of produce on a daily basis. And when you are near, the coast, a lot of times that garbage, if it's not put into a garbage can and a garbage bag and taken away, will find its way out to the ocean or to the rivers or the streams, and will eventually make its way out that way. I am shocked to hear about the garbage from the Dominican Republic and Haiti that that comes this way regularly. It just, that right there just kind of opens my eyes to a whole world of, just kind of garbage. I was down at Miami Beach, 2 years ago, and it's a beautiful beach, but it takes a lot of work for it to stay a beautiful beach, right? But you don't see kind of the behind the scenes of all the work, I'm sure, that your organization does, probably the town does, other people do, to just kind of keep that beach clean on a daily basis. And it just goes to show, like, if you guys were not here doing your part, what would the beach actually look like? That's just the shock and awe that I'm having right now is, yeah, if your organization didn't exist right now, that beach wouldn't be as clean as it is right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's for sure.
So, Shayla, thank you. What did you want to say? Yeah.
Are you guys aware that we humans are consuming 5 grams of plastic per week? Scientifically, they've already scientifically proven this. And now that was 5 grams. That was probably like last year. I'm pretty sure the number's higher now. So unknowingly, we're consuming plastic when we eat from plastic containers, when we drink from plastic water bottles. Once you heat up the plastic particles seep into your food. And so we're full of plastic already.
Oh, man.
You're not only like eating the plastic, the fish is eating the plastic, you're eating the fish, it's like we really need to become more aware of the things that we eat, the things that we put in our body. Yeah.
Well, and it just goes to show how, like, the circle of life, how everything kind of comes back to you and how it affects you. So yeah, the fish consuming plastic and then you're consuming the fish. That's kind of a gross thing to think about, but it's true, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Well, Shayla, how can people, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you? For the people like listening in their car or while they're working out on a podcast, what's your number one platform, the social media platform that you like, and what's the website address one more time?
Well, our most engaged social media is Instagram. You can see the link in the bio. Everything is posted there. You can sign up for our newsletters. You can donate. You can become crew if you live in the area. Everything is on our social media Instagram page, so follow us there. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for donators. So if you work for a corporation or you're part of a corporation and you would like to have a team outing with an impact, you can reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to host your next event.
I wish my company was located in Miami, because we would definitely be part of that. I'm in Chicago. It's a little bit cold up here. I would actually much prefer the weather down there, especially now in December. But maybe maybe our next team meeting, we'll have a retreat down there and we'll join you and we'll do a cleanup.
Yes, that would be amazing. I would love to see it.
Yes. And you know what? I'm part of a group of a lot of entrepreneurs that kind of do their retreats in Florida. I will make sure that they know that this is a possibility for something that they can do as a team building exercise when they're doing their quarterly retreats or their year-end retreats. But this is just that's one other avenue that you can think about, that you don't have to be a local business to Miami. You can be a business from anywhere in the United States or the world. And if you're in Miami for any type of retreat or outing, or you just want something where you maybe have your executive team or anybody, sales team, and want to do a team building exercise, this would be a perfect opportunity to do some good and actually educate some people on how much garbage that they generate on a regular basis.
Yes, absolutely. We work with companies like that all the time. They have like they come from all over the country and they have a meeting in Miami because they're doing like some type of conference or something. And then they set up the cleanup with us and then we host it and then they come out and they participate. And it's a whole lot of fun, I'm telling you. You'd be surprised how much fun it is. You guys need to come out and check it out.
Yes. Well, there we go. I think we just booked our next one to Miami. That's for sure. We will keep you posted. We are going to join your Instagram channel so we can keep updated on all of your updates regularly. Shayla, thank you so much for being here. I hope this your message gets out there. We kind of get more people, more volunteers, especially some more donations your way, just so that we can keep funding kind of the mission. And thank you so much for all the work that you do.
You're welcome. Bye.